Sunrider posted 1:16.736 on their last lap. How will they do on this one? There's Megasaurus 55, gently nudging the beast as they head out. The out lap is where you whisper to the car, "Let's dance," before the real party starts.
You got that right. It's a gentle waltz before the full-on rock concert of the race. They're testing the waters, getting a feel for every bend and straight of Thruxton.
Chris Ilduke crosses the line with their first flyer, clocking a 1:18.755. They're getting to grips with Thruxton, feeling out its quirks and corners.
It's like the first round of a chess match, Rob. They're making their opening moves, setting up for the later, faster laps where they'll really show their hand.
McDougall's first flyer is a solid start, clocking in at 1:16.966. They're getting a feel for the track, but there's room to shave off a few more seconds.
Absolutely, Rob. It's all about finding those little tweaks, adjusting the line here, braking a tad later there. Every lap is a learning curve.
So, for those tuning in and wondering what's the go with these practice sessions, well, it ain't just about flexing their engines. It's about synergy, mate. Getting the driver, the car, and the track to sing in harmony.
Couldn't have put it better. We liken it to rehearsing a dance. Every step, every turn must be practiced until it's second nature on the big stage.
It's a bit like looking for water in the outback. These drivers are searching for that sweet rhythm, where everything just clicks.
Spot on. It's that elusive flow state. When everything syncs up, the car, the track, the driver, that's when magic happens.
Stephen Eales is not hanging about, straight into the thick of it on this first flying lap. They're getting a real taste of the Ginetta G55 SuperCup 2017 LHD ACF Viz Tweak S capabilities.
Absolutely. It's about understanding the limits early on. You'll see them experimenting with braking points and turn-in speeds, all while keeping an eye on those tire temps.
There's the first flying lap for Eddie G, hitting 1:17.882. It's a start, but they'll be looking to iron out those kinks as they get more laps under their belt.
Right on, Rob. It's early in the session, so there's plenty of time to experiment and find those extra tenths of a second.
With just 18 minutes left before we move to qualification, there is not long left for these drivers to finish their preparations. Chris Ilduke has a best lap time of 1:17.790. Eddie G has a best lap time of 1:17.882. McDougall posted a 1:17.880 on their last lap. How will they do on this one? Alright, Eddie G has put down a 1:20.758. It's a decent benchmark, but I reckon there's more juice to squeeze out of that Ginetta G55 SuperCup 2017 LHD ACF Viz tweak.
For sure, Rob, it's early days. They're just starting to sync up with the track. We'll likely see those times tumble as they dial in.
Puppy Dog from Hell is rolling out for the first sniff of the track. It's all about feeling the car, the tarmac, and getting the mind in the zone.
Absolutely, Rob. The out lap is like the opening chapter of a book. It sets the tone for the whole story. They'll be checking how the car's responding, getting a real feel for the conditions today at Thruxton.
Ever heard the pit crew chat about wheel camber? Sounds like a dance move, but trust me, it's all car talk.
Haha, yeah, camber is the angle of the wheel relative to the road. A bit of negative camber, where the top of the tire leans inwards, can give more grip in the corners. But too much and you're looking at premature wear on the inside of the tire. It's a balancing act, and each track requires its own setting.
Hey Hal, you reckon these drivers ever get tired of going round and round during practice?
Well, Rob, repetition is the key. Every lap gives you data, insights, and an edge over the competition.
Richard Rossier's first flyer is a solid start, clocking in at 1:18.901. They're getting a feel for the track, but there's room to shave off a few more seconds.
Absolutely, Rob. It's all about finding those little tweaks, adjusting the line here, braking a tad later there. Every lap is a learning curve.
Look at Jack M team taking it nice and easy, a smart move. Like a chess player contemplating the opening move, they're planning several steps ahead.
Spot on. They're mentally mapping each corner, each straight. It's not just about the car, it's about strategy and foresight.
There's the first flying lap for Chris Ilduke, hitting 3:25.053. It's a start, but they'll be looking to iron out those kinks as they get more laps under their belt.
Right on, Rob. It's early in the session, so there's plenty of time to experiment and find those extra tenths of a second.
Sunrider's first serious lap is in the books with a time of 1:16.679. Good effort, but I'm expecting them to really push the envelope in the next few laps.
Yeah, it's about building that momentum, Rob. Fine-tuning their approach with each turn, each lap, getting more out of the car and themselves.
Chris Ilduke crosses the line with their first flyer, clocking a 3:25.053. They're getting to grips with Thruxton, feeling out its quirks and corners.
It's like the first round of a chess match, Rob. They're making their opening moves, setting up for the later, faster laps where they'll really show their hand.
Superman is on their first practice flying lap. Chris Ilduke posted 1:25.608 on their last lap. How will they do on this one? You know, mate, watching these practice sessions, you think the driver just jumps in and goes. But there's a heck of a lot more to it, starting with that aero package, the balance between drag and downforce.
Oh, for sure, you tweak the front wing just a smidge, and you could have a totally different beast on your hands. Depending on the track, they might want more downforce for those tight corners or reduce it for the long straights to maximize speed.
Superman is really opening up the taps now, their first flyer of the session. This is where we start to see what Ginetta G55 SuperCup 2017 LHD ACF Viz tweak has got under the hood.
That's right, Rob. They're shaking off the cobwebs and really starting to push. It's all about finding that sweet spot between speed and control on the circuit.
With just 9 minutes left before we move to qualification, there is not long left for these drivers to finish their preparations. Superman is getting to grips with the Ginetta G55 SuperCup 2017 LHD ACF Viz tweak in this practice session. The anticipation is high as the drivers line up for the qualifying session at Thruxton. Superman is on their out lap. It's a dominant performance from Superman in this qualification session. They have shown exceptional form and are leading the way. Their confidence is shining through, and they are proving why Superman has completed their out lap. It's a masterclass. Richard Rossier has completed their outlap. Richard Rossier has completed their outlap. Chris Ilduke has secured a respectable 8th in the qualifying session. Can they capitalise on this? Chris Ilduke has completed their outlap. Incredible drive by Megasaurus 55 so far, earning him 5th on the grid. However, the competition is fierce. Will they be able to find that extra edge to move up?
Absolutely, Rob. Megasaurus 55 has shown great potential to secure 5th. It's now a matter of channeling that momentum into a strong performance during the race.
Megasaurus 55 has completed their outlap. Impressive display by Richard Rossier, currently sitting in position 4. They've set a competitive time, but the question remains whether they can push even harder to secure a better starting position.
You hit the nail on the head, Rob. Richard Rossier's current position of 4th is a testament to their skill and determination. Now, they must stay sharp to make...
Richard Rossier has completed their first flying lap in 1:17.168. There are just over 10 minutes left in this qualification session. There are just over 10 minutes left in this qualification session. Puppy Dog from Hell has just completed a lap in 1:21.721. Let's see if they can improve on the time further. There are just over 10 minutes left in this qualification session. Megasaurus 55 has completed their outlap. A solid qualifying performance by McDougall, positioning them in 4th at the... McDougall has just completed the lap in 1:16.728. Their best lap so far is 1:16.728, putting them in P3. Will they be able to hold on to that spot? It hasn't been the best qualifying session for Jury U so far. They find themselves in 11th position, which is not where they had hoped to be. However, there's still time left on the clock, and they have the opportunity to make improvements. Jury U has completed their outlap. Currently in 6th, Stephen Eales has displayed promising speed during the qualifying session. The real test lies in whether they can convert this performance into a higher grid, but Stephen Eales has some work to do, as that 1:17.897 is only good enough for 6th. Megasaurus 55 has put in a great effort and currently holds 8th. With the session winding down, can they unleash their full potential and improve their starting position?
Couldn't agree more, Rob. Megasaurus 55 has positioned themselves impressively in 8th. Now, they need to build on this foundation and strive for an even better race result.
Richard Rossier has positioned themselves well it's a stellar performance from Richard Rossier, clinching 5th.
They're in a great spot, Rob, but in qualifying, complacency can be your worst enemy. They need to keep pushing the limits while staying cool under pressure.
Impressive work from Sunrider, who has claimed 6th on the grid. Now, the focus is on maintaining their composure and pushing for an even better starting position. Sunrider has completed their first flying lap in 1:16.048. It's been a challenging session for Jury Yu. They're currently languishing in 11th position, which is not where they had envisioned themselves. But in motorsport, anything can happen, and with their skill and determination, they might still turn things around. Jury Yu has completed their out lap. A strong showing from Stephen Eales as they currently sit in 7th. With the session drawing to a close, they'll need to dig deep and find that extra burst. With Stephen Eales clocking a 1:17.821, they've got themselves a mountain to climb, stuck in 7th.
They're not out of the fight yet, Rob, but it's going to take some serious wheel work to make up that gap. The clock's ticking, and they need to make every lap count from here on out.
It's been a challenging day for Superman in qualifying. They currently sit in 12th position, which is not reflective of their true potential. With the session nearing its end, they'll need to push hard and extract every ounce of performance to improve their result.
You're absolutely right, Rob. Superman is currently facing a challenging situation, but they have the skills and experience to tackle it head-on. They'll need to stay focused, trust in their abilities, and push themselves to the limit to turn things around.
And there goes Jury Yu, currently in position 10. They've shown great skill and consistency so far, but with a few minutes left, there's still time to improve their result. It's an impressive showing by Stephen Eales, currently in 7th. They've showcased their talent, but will they be able to find those crucial extra tenths of a second to climb higher? What a performance from Eddie G. They currently occupy 4th on the grid. Can they maintain this strong position and secure a favourable starting spot? There are just over 5 minutes left in this qualification session. There are just over 5 minutes left in this qualification session. D-Max has just completed a lap in 1:22.405. Let's see if they can improve on the time further. There are just over 5 minutes left in this qualification session. Sunrider's really showing what they're made of, landing in 2nd during this nail-biting session.
Absolutely, Rob. It's all about precision and nerve in qualifying. Every millisecond can make a difference on the grid. Let's see if they can squeeze out even more speed. It may be difficult for them to improve further on that. Sometimes trying too hard makes you slower. They need to drive smooth and smart.
Not the ideal start for Jury. Sunrider's really showing what they're made of, landing in 2nd during this nail-biting session.
Absolutely, Rob. It's all about precision and nerve in qualifying. Every millisecond can make a difference on the grid. Let's see if they can squeeze out even more speed. It may be difficult for them to improve further on that. Sometimes trying too hard makes you slower. They need to drive smooth and smart.
It's been a struggle for D-Max in qualifying. As of now, they find themselves in 12th position, which is well below their expectations. However, motorsport is unpredictable, and there's still an opportunity for them to shine and move up the grid.
I couldn't agree more, Rob. DMAX is facing a tough challenge, but they are known for their fighting spirit. This qualifying session is a test of their character, and I believe
D-Max might need to rethink their setup. That 1:18.972 isn't doing them any favours in 10th. Maybe tweaking the downforce for better grip could shave off a few precious seconds.
I agree, Rob. A bit more downforce on those corners at Thruxton could make a world of difference. But they'll have to be careful not to sacrifice too much top speed on the straights.
A disappointing performance from Jury Yu so far in this qualifying session. Finding themselves in 11th position is certainly not what they were aiming for. However, they have the talent and experience to bounce back and salvage a better result.
Well said, Rob. It's certainly not the result you're.
It's about time Jury Yu considered a different approach. With a 120.713, they're stuck in 11th. Maybe a change in brake bias could give them more control in those hard braking zones.
That's a solid point, Rob. Better braking control means they can brake later and harder, making up precious time in the corners.
Incredible drive by McDougall so far, earning him second on the grid. However, the competition is fierce. Will they be able to find that? Richard Rossier's last lap at 1:16.314 has them languishing in 6th. Time slipping away, and they need to find some magic on the track.
Absolutely, Rob. It's crunch time, and they've got to push the Ginetta G55 SuperCup 2017 LHD ACF Viz tweak beyond its limits if they want to claw back into the top 5.
A tough qualifying session for Jury U. They're currently mired in 11th position, which is a setback for their ambitions. However, they have the resilience and determination to learn from their mistakes and fight back in the race.
I share your thoughts, Rob. Jorg U is facing a setback in this qualifying session, but they have the resilience to bounce back. They need to stay positive, work closely with their engineers, and find the optimal strategy to make progress.
A solid performance from Richard Rossier as they currently hold position 6. However, with the session coming to a close, they'll need to find that extra bit of speed if they want to move up the grid.
I completely agree, Rob. Richard Rossier has positioned themselves impressively in 6th. However, it's crucial for them to keep pushing to potentially improve their starting position.
Superman has put in a great effort and currently holds 7th. With the session winding down, can they unleash their full potential and improve their starting position?
I couldn't agree more, Rob. Superman has done a fantastic job to claim 7th. The challenge now is to convert this opportunity into a strong race result.
Currently in 10th, D-Max seems like DMAX is struggling to find the sweet spot with their Ginetta G55 SuperCup 2017 LHD ACF Viz tweak. Sitting in 10th with a time of 1:18.634, they might want to consider adjusting the suspension setup for better handling.
Yeah, tuning the suspension could improve cornering stability, Rob. It's all about finding that balance between agility and stability on a technical track like this.
A solid qualifying performance by Chris Ilduke, positioning them in 9th at the moment. The question now is whether they can make further progress and challenge the frontrunners. Impressive display by Superman, currently sitting in position 7. They've set a competitive time, but the question remains whether they can push even harder to secure a better starting position. There's a real buzz in the air as Superman secures 2nd.
Right you are, Rob. They've put themselves in a solid spot, but they can't let up now. Staying smooth and focused is key to shaving off those extra fractions. Every fraction of a second counts. I am sure they can find a little extra in there.
And there goes D-Max, currently in position 10. They've shown great skill and consistency so far, but with a few minutes left, there's still time to improve their result.
Absolutely, Rob. DMAX has shown great potential to secure 10th. It's now a matter
I'm thinking D-Max could benefit from tweaking their tyre strategy. That last lap at 1:17.468 isn't cutting it for 8th. A switch to a softer compound might give them the edge they need.
Spot on, Rob. A softer tire could provide that extra grip, but they'll have to manage tire wear carefully. It's a risky play, but it might just pay off.
It's an impressive showing by Chris Ilduke, currently in 10th. They've showcased their talent, but will they be able to find those crucial extra tenths of a second to climb higher? Megasaurus 55 has positioned themselves well in 6th during qualifying. The Megasaurus 55 will be happy having put themselves into 5th in this qualifying session. Chris Ilduke has secured a respectable 10th in the qualifying session. Can they capitalize on this position and use it as a launching? Looks like Chris Ilduke needs to put the pedal to the metal. That last lap times landed them in 10th, not where they'd want to be, especially with the session ticking away.
True, Rob. It's all about incremental gains. Every 10th of a second counts, and they've got to squeeze every bit of performance out of that Ginetta G55 SuperCup 2017 LHD ACF Viz tweak.
What a performance from Chris Ilduke. They currently occupy 10th on the grid. Can they maintain this strong position and secure a favourable starting spot? Disappointing performance from Jerry Yu in this qualifying session. Currently in 11th position, they'll need to dig deep and find some extra speed to climb up the leaderboard and secure a better starting position for the race.
Absolutely, Rob. Jorg Yu is facing a challenging situation, but they have the skill and determination to turn things around. It's not over until the checkered flag, and they still have a chance to improve their result.
A strong showing from Chris Ilduke as they currently sit in 10th. With the session drawing to a close, they'll need to dig deep and find that extra burst of speed to improve.
Great analysis, Rob. Chris Ilduke has shown excellent pace to secure 10th. Now, the focus shifts to whether they can use their track position to their advantage in the race.
A solid performance from Chris Ilduke as they currently hold position 10. However, with the session coming to a close, they'll need to find that extra bit of speed if they want to move up the grid.
You're spot on, Rob. Chris Ilduke's current position of 10th is a testament to their skills and determination. Now, they face the challenge of maintaining their position against hungry rivals.
We're in Great Britain today for what promises to be an unforgettable race at Thruxton. The drivers have been talking about this one for weeks.
Absolutely. Thruxton is known for producing some of the most thrilling races on the circuit. I'm sure the drivers are going to give it their all.
Jack M team will be looking to convert their pole position into a win. In second place, we have Superman. On the third grid slot we have McDougall.
McDougall will be ready to show what they're made of.
As the green flag drops, keep an eye on Sunrider starting in 4th position. The 5th position belongs to Megasaurus 55. Sitting in 6th is Eddie G. Richard Rossier has qualified 7th. D-Max is lining up 8th.
DMAX is going to show us something special, I'm sure of it.
Our 9th place starter, Stephen Eales, is a driver who knows how to make up ground on the track. As the engines roar to life, Chris Ilduke prepares to take off from the 10th position on the starting grid.
Chris Ilduke will have wanted a better start than 10th.
Jerry Yu has got their work cut out for them starting from 11th on the grid. Puppy Dog from Hell is going to be starting from 12th. Green means go, folks. Let's have a chinwag later about those reactions.
Avoiding fender benders while gunning for the front? That's the name of the game right now.
The racing is normally closely fought here at Thruxton. I think we're in for a cracking race. The drivers are jockeying for position. McDougall will be looking to get off to a good start and consolidate their position. There's some intense battling throughout the field as everyone is looking to get off to a good start. As the drivers get this race underway, let me give a shout out to the admin team at Assetto Corsa Friends for making this all possible. Heroes one and all. The pressure is on whilst the field is bunched. Who can keep their cool and take advantage?
It's always intense racing here at Thruxton. Hold on to your hats, folks.
Now, that's what I'm talking about. Sunrider is proper nipping at Jack M10's heels. Are they thinking of making a lunge? Only time will tell. It's a thrilling pursuit as McDougal is right behind Megasaurus 55, keeping the pressure on for 4th place. Heartbreak for McDougal as they slip down the field. Tell me, mate, ever tried doing a burnout in a ute? It's bloody bonza.
A ute? You guys and your funny names. That's just a pickup, right? Trust me, I burned more rubber than you've had shrimp on the Barbie.
Jack M team is placed 11th at the moment. They are hoping to keep their distance ahead of Puppy Dog from Hell, who is 4.6 seconds behind.
You're spot on, and Puppy Dog from Hell knows that they can't rely on Jack M team making an error. They have to keep driving with skill and determination, and be ready to seize any opportunity that comes their way.
Seems like Eddie G is getting in range of Megasaurus 55. Hold your breath, folks. These drivers are showing exceptional car control, threading the needle through tight corners. It's a battle for supremacy. Oh, this is getting intense. Eddie G is just behind Richard Rossier.
Eddie G is following Richard Rosier so closely, they could start charging them rent for occupying the same space on the track.
Well, I'd raise a toast to that move. Cheers to Eddie G for nabbing 3rd. Talk about intense. Richard Rossier is on Eddie's bumper. We're in for a treat as they approach Campbell. The tension is palpable. Who will come out on top in this epic showdown?
They say rubbing is racing, but if Stephen Eels gets too close, they might end up trading carbon fiber souvenirs instead of positions.
The battle is on for Stephen Eels. They're sandwiched between two rivals. Stop the press. By the looks of it, Puppy Dog from Hell reckoned Thruxton had a hidden shortcut. Too bad there isn't one.
I swear, Puppy Dog from Hell's acting like they found Elvis off track. Spoiler. The king ain't there.
It's a close race between Richard Rossier and Eddie G in 3rd. Well, if it isn't McDougal, the wild wallaby of the track, hopping right off the tarmac.
Dang, McDougal went off like my sense of self-worth after my high school reunion. And just as hard to recover.
It's a game of inches now as Richard Rossier tails Eddie G closely, ready to capitalize on any mistake.
This is where the mental game comes into play. Who will keep their cool under pressure? Richard Rosier or Eddie G? It's anyone's race.
It looks like Eddie G is pushing hard to catch up to Jack M team. The gap is over a second, but Eddie G is not giving up just yet. Wait, well, Eddie's decided to give the local wildlife a closer look. I hope the drop bears didn't get to them.
Lord have mercy. Eddie G must have seen a ghost or thought they spotted Bigfoot. That was one wild turn.
Hold on to your hats. Jury U is gunning for Stephen Eels. Reckon we might see some cheeky moves on the next bend?
Well, bless my heart. Lord Yu is shadowing Stephen Eels so closely, it's like they're hitched together. Keep an eye on them as they whip through Cobb.
It's an intense battle for position as Megasaurus 55 tries to outmaneuver Chris Hill-Duke. This is edge of your seat racing.
Can they close up enough for a pass? I don't see it personally.
A great moment for Megasaurus 55, who has just gained a place and moved up the standings. This is what high-octane racing looks like. Jack M team is breathing down the neck of Stephen Eels, not giving him any room to relax. Big gains for Jack M team as they move up the field, leaving Stephen Eels behind.
Where there's a will, there's a relative.
Hold on to your hats, folks. Eddie G is right on the heels of Puppy Dog from Hell, and we're in for a wild ride. Incredible. Eddie G is caught in a fierce battle, with Robert Tootie breathing down their neck 0.1 seconds away, and Puppy Dog from Hell just ahead with a gap of 0.1 seconds. It's a test of their racing skills. This is where legends are made. Which driver will rise to the occasion and claim victory? The adrenaline is pumping as Jack M Team gets within striking distance of Megasaurus 55 in their race for 6th. Megasaurus 55 wants to close the gap with Chris Hill-Duke. Whoa, Megasaurus 55's on fire, leaving skid marks and Chris Hill-Duke's hopes behind.
Someone better check if Megasaurus 55's been drinking those energy drinks, as it seems like they got wings.
They're going for the same piece of tarmac. Sparks are flying as they battle for position, daring each other to brake later and go deeper into the corners.
Exactly, Rob. It's like a high-stakes chess match on wheels. These drivers are analyzing every move and trying to anticipate their opponent's next move.
Incident alert. Crikey, Jack M Team thought they were on a boomerang's flight path. Only problem? Didn't come back. This is like the state of origin for Superman, going full tilt, gunning for the top, and not holding back.
And on my end, it's the Super Bowl vibes all over. Inches away from glory, and every move counts. Hold on to your hats, folks. This is racing at its finest.
This is what it's all about, folks. McDougall is in hot pursuit of Chris Hill-Duke, who's just trying to stay ahead.
It's going to be a close one. McDougall will have to push hard to create an opportunity.
Stephen Eales wants to find a way round Jack M Team. Alright, lads and ladies, it's crunch time. McDougall is sniffing around Chris Hill-Duke like a dog with a bone. And it looks like they might just take a bite out of 5th. The crowd is on its feet as Megasaurus 55 chases down Stephen Eales through Brooklands.
A misjudgment by either driver could result in a close encounter of the tire barrier kind, and that's one handshake they'll want to...
Hold on a moment, looks like DMAX is playing in the dirt. Took me back to when I tried rallying in my mum's old sedan. Good times, expensive repairs.
If DMAX is trying to embody my self-esteem during puberty with that swerve, spot on. Just spot on.
We got a close battle as McDougall closes in on Chris Hill-Duke. Ripper of a move. McDougall's not just in the race. They're owning it. Today, 4th.
Absolutely. McDougall is really putting on a clinic out there, and they're making it look easy.
Let's talk about tire degradation. How does it affect the car's handling, and what do drivers need to do to adapt to the changing conditions?
Tire degradation can significantly impact handling, Rob. As the tires wear, the grip reduces, and drivers need to adjust their braking points, cornering speeds, and throttle application to maintain control of the car.
Alright, hold your horses. D-Max is really putting the heat on Stephen Eales. If I was Stephen Eales, I'd be checking those mirrors non-stop.
It's a thrilling battle for position as these two drivers give it their all. Who will come out on top? This is racing at its finest.
You reckon Jack M Team saw a spider in the cockpit? 'Cause they're running away from the front like it's Huntsman Central. Coming into Club Chicane, the fight for 5th is heating up. Who will be the first to blink? Jury U's giving it a red-hot go, but can't seem to muster the pace to keep up with Megasaurus 55. It's like chasing a roo on a motorbike. It's a great day, and the tarmac's heating up, and these tires are getting a proper workout.
Speaking of which, tire management is such an underrated skill. Knowing when to push hard and when to conserve, it's like a strategic dance out there on the asphalt.
It's all eyes on this battle as Stephen Eales in 7th tries to hold off the challenger D-Max.
The way DMAX is chasing, you'd think Stephen Eales took the last piece of Grandma's apple pie. Which, for the record, I did once. Still got the scar.
Gee whiz, Eddie G is breathing down DMAX's neck. Wouldn't want to be in DMAX's rearview mirror right now, it's getting crowded. And Eddie G has just won the place from D-Max. This is what racing is all about. Two fierce competitors pushing each other to the limit. Someone should tell Jerry U this ain't a Sunday drive. Stephen Eales is tearing up the track. The gap between McDougall and Megasaurus 55 is not insurmountable, but it's going to take a mistake for McDougall to bring Megasaurus 55 into play. McDougall has been served a big slice of eat my dust by Megasaurus 55. Hope they got their eating pants on.
You know, McDougall's looking like they missed the tailgate party. But watch out, Megasaurus 55's been training like they're heading to the NASCAR big leagues.
With a move that's swift, I'd say McDougall's running on high octane, and maybe a bit of Aussie spirit. The intensity is off the charts as D-Mac hold up a moan. Blimey, Megasaurus 55 must have spotted a pub off the track. That's the only reason any self-respecting Aussie would swerve that way. Things are getting spicy as Eddie G is breathing down Jerry U's neck. The gap? Mate, you couldn't slide a credit card between them.
When I was racing, we had a saying, if you're not living on the edge, you're taking up too much space. Eddie G is definitely living on the edge today.
Now that's how it's done. Eddie G rips through the track, while Jerry U watches the taillights fade.
Well, it's not just about speed, it's about strategy. But right now, Eddie's showing a masterclass in both.
Buckle up, McDougall is all over Stephen Eels like a cheap suit. Are we about to see some wheel-to-wheel action? It's a battle of wills out there, each driver trying to outsmart and outmaneuver the other. Well, I'll be a monkey's Uncle Hal, but Jerry U's plans have gone walkabout right now. They're having a proper Barry Crocker keeping up with Eddie G. The action is non-stop as Jack M Team shadows Puppy Dog from hell through every twist and turn, determined to claim 11th. Talk about being caught in the middle. Jack M Team is sandwiched between their rivals, Robert Tootie 0.1 seconds behind and Puppy Dog from hell 0.2 seconds ahead. The battle for position is on.
You hit the nail on the head, Rob. The gaps to the cars ahead and behind are crucial pieces of information for Jack and Team's race strategy. It's a delicate dance, and they must remain vigilant.
Get ready, folks. With D-Max tailing this close to Chris Hill Duke, Brooklands is about to become a hotspot. D-Max has decided to pit. It's like watching two predators circling each other, waiting for the perfect moment to pounce. I've seen kangaroos jump less than the sparks between Chris Hill Duke and Jerry U. It's almost like a Saturday night date, but with a lot more rubber burning.
Don't forget the role of aerodynamics. Chris Hill Duck should use slipstreaming to their advantage and close the gap to your U.
Wow, McDougall is really pushing hard to catch up to Stephen Eels. There's blood in the water for 4th place. Blimey, McDougall's shifted gears and the results are clear. Cruising up to 4th just like that.
Man, if racing was a barbecue, McDougall just threw down the spiciest ribs. Up to 4th and sizzling.
Mate, Eddie's gonna have to defend like a kangaroo in a boxing match.
You Aussies and your analogies. But yeah, it's game on for sure.
Oh, the pressure is really getting to Eddie G. They've just lost 6th spot to Jerry U and they need to regroup quickly.
Well, bless their heart. Eddie's gotta kick off those Sunday shoes and dance if they want to catch your U who's moving and grooving to the lead.
You know, Hal, during a long race like this, how easy is it for a driver to experience a lapse in concentration?
It can be quite easy, Rob. With so many factors to consider and the intense focus required, even the most experienced drivers can have a momentary lapse. That's why mental training and staying in the zone are so important.
The fans are on the edge of their seats. It doesn't get any closer than this.
Remember that time Chris Hill Duck made that audacious move on the last lap? Feels like deja vu, doesn't it, Rob?
Stone the Crows. Chris Dukes managed to trim that gap with Jerry Yu, Must be the slipstream effect on this straight. Or maybe they've put down the beer.
The way Chris Dukes conserving their energy while managing the ERS deployment? Pure artistry. They're sneaking up on Jorg Yu like a quiet storm.
With steely determination and laser focus, Jerry Yu is homing in on Chris Duke. The battle lines are drawn. Disappointing for Jerry Yu, they now find themselves in 8th. It's a game of cat and mouse out there, with Superman trying to find the perfect opportunity to make a move on Sunrider. The gap is over a second, but every fraction counts. Can Superman close in enough to mount a challenge?
Yeehaw. It's like Superman took a detour through the drive-thru. With a gap that big, I hope they ordered extra determination with a side of grit.
Oh my, Stephen Eels is hot on the tail of McDougal. As they come into Brooklands, I'm sure they may have a cheeky peek up the inside.
Watch out now. Stephen Eels is edging ever closer to McDougal. They'll be wheel to wheel by the time they reach Brooklands.
Sorry to cut in here, blimey. Jerry Yu's just thrown another shrimp on the barbie of mishaps. This one's burnt. Things are heating up as D-Max closes in on Jack M Team. The gap between them is down to practically nothing. Every race has its highs and lows. Today, D-Max acquaints themselves with a new perspective at 11th.
Life on the track is a tapestry of decisions. Looks like DMAX is weaving a complex narrative today, dropping a notch.
The age-old challenge. Superman is trying to catch Sunrider, sort of like trying to find a matching sock in the laundry. The struggle is real, folks.
Well, slap my grandma and call me Sally. Superman's got more distance to cover than my cousin Cletus has teeth. But if anyone can bridge that gap, it's Superman.
Whoa there, Eddie G is sticking to Megasaurus 55 like glue. You reckon Megasaurus 55's feeling the pressure? 'Cause I sure would. Eddie G just blitzed past Megasaurus 55 like they were standing still.
Talk about turbocharged ambition. Eddie's got the afterburners on full blast today.
It may seem like Jerry Yu is far behind, but Megasaurus 55 can't afford to let their guard down. One mistake could give Jerry Yu an opening to catch up.
If this was a country song, Megasaurus 55 would be the one riding off into the sunset, and Jorg Yu would still be tying their boots.
Jerry Yu is making ground on Megasaurus 55 quicker than a roo in a paddock. Now, the gap's just 1.5 seconds. Crikey, Eddie's playing hardball today. Closing off those gaps like a tight-knit woolly jumper. Good luck weaving through that one, Jack M Team. Oh, this is getting intense. Puppy Dog from Hell is just behind D-Max. What a move. Puppy Dog from Hell has moved up to 11th.
You can't argue with results like that. Puppy Dog from Hell is really making their mark on this race.
Mate, Jack M Team's right up Eddie's chuff. As they zip through Club Chicane, we're all expecting some fireworks.
Rob, last time I saw Jack M Team this riled up, there were sparks flying off the track. Get ready for a showdown.
Wow, Sunrider is really pushing hard in these final moments of the race.
They'll be the ones celebrating at the finish line.
And it's a checkered flag for Sunrider, who crosses the finish line with a commanding victory. What a phenomenal performance, absolutely dominant today. A nail-biting finish, but Superman claims second place. Megasaurus 55 and Jerry Yu end in 9th and 10th. What a race from Richard Rossier, showing their skill and determination for a great third place finish. Taking fourth is McDougall. Stephen Eales brings home fifth. 11th is Puppy Dog from Hell. Chris Ilduke in 6th. Finishing 7th is Eddie G. Coming in 12th we have D-Max. 8th sees Jack M Team. We're racing a little closer to home today, here in Great Britain. Thruxton is our venue, and it's one these drivers love. Let's get ready to see how they perform here.
It's going to be interesting to see how the drivers handle the challenges of this circuit. I'm excited to see what they can do.
Sunrider will lead the way from pole position.
But they can't afford to get complacent. They will have a target on their back now.
Watch out for Superman, starting from the second grid position in today's race.
Big things expected for Superman today.
We see Richard Rossier sitting in the third spot. McDougall is holding down the fort in fourth place.
Putting the Ginetta G55 SuperCup 2017 RHD ACF Viz tweak into prime position for the race.
Lining up in fifth is Stephen Eales. The sixth starting position belongs to Chris Ilduke, who will be looking to make up ground early on.
They've got the heart of a lion, and they won't back down from a challenge.
Eddie G will be looking to gain ground quickly as they start from 7th on the grid.
That Ginetta G55 SuperCup 2017 LHD ACF Viz Tweak looks like it has some potential.
Starting from the 8th position, Jack M team will need to navigate through the field to challenge for the win.
But don't count them out yet. They've got the skills to pay the bills.
Megasaurus 55 is placed in 9th.
They'll be looking for a clean race.
Starting from 10th on the grid is a good position for Jerry Yu to launch an attack.
Another mid-pack start for Jorg Yu.
Starting from 11th on the grid is a bit of a mixed bag for Puppy Dog from Hell.
Where can Puppy Dog from Hell finish today?
Starting from 12th on the grid, the green's out and they're off like a bucket of prawns in the sun. This is what separates the scholars from the school kids. How?
Well shoot, this here's where the rubber meets the road. These drivers gotta wrangle their rides just right or it's all gonna go south in a hurry.
Settling into a rhythm is going to be crucial here. These early salvos will shape the outcome of this race. The stewards will be hoping that there aren't too many incidents for them to pick over when the dust settles on this one.
Like gladiators they enter Rob, but instead of lions and swords our champions fight in an arena of tarmac, and with fire-breathing machines of cutting-edge materials, designed to explore the very limits of physics itself in what can sometimes be very much a fight to the death.
So Jerry Hughes decided to play it cool, eh? Holding on to 10 like a croc with a juicy steak. Just sizing up the competition, I reckon. You know, Hal, I've always wondered, how do racing drivers stay so cool and collected under such immense pressure?
Well, Rob, it comes down to mental strength and training. Drivers often work with sports psychologists and practice techniques like meditation and visualization to help them stay calm and focused during high-pressure situations.
Talk about intense. McDougall is on Chris Ilduke's bumper. We're in for a treat as they approach Cobb.
If McDougall pushes too hard, they might find themselves exploring the scenic route, and nobody's got time for sightseeing during the race.
Jack M team has the pedal to the metal chasing McDougall. Jack M team's been working the tyre temps, and it's paying off. Grip's better than a kangaroo on a trampoline. Watch out, McDougall.
This ain't Jack and Team's first rodeo. They're optimizing their racing line, reducing understeer. If McDougall ain't nervous, they sure ought to be.
Superb driving from Jack M team, who with that overtake has gained a position in the race.
You know, back in Carolina, we say, go big or go home. Looks like Jack M team took that to heart, hitting 5th.
The tension is palpable. Who will come out on top in this epic showdown? Jack M team seems to be putting the oh no, what's this? Well, crikey. Jerry Hughes taking a detour, just like I did when I tried to change my car's oil. Ended up with a flooded garage. The gap between Stephen Eales and Rob is razor thin as they vie for 7th in this nail-biting contest.
If Stephen Eales gets any closer, they might as well ask Rob, always keen for a piggyback run.
Oh, talk about a tango on tarmac. Sunrider is dancing closer and closer to Superman. You can feel the tension as they approach village. Did you blink? Because Sunrider just laid down a scorcher of a lap. Even my ex never left that fast. Hold on to your hats. Jerry Yu is gunning for Puppy Dog from Hell. Reckon we might see some cheeky moves on the next bend? gap between Jury U and Puppy Dog from Hell is growing. It's now up to 0.6 seconds. Now isn't this a show? Keen's gotten the bit between their teeth, and they're reeling in Chris Ilduke. Look at him weave and bob through noble folks.
If things go wrong between Rob Always Keen and Chris Ilduke, they could be exchanging more than just paint, like maybe a strongly worded post-race chat.
It's pedal to the metal for Rob, while Chris Ilduke's still flipping through the radio channels.
This race is heating up faster than a Barbie in summer. Rob Always Keen's got that winning glint.
As they speed through Club Chicane, Sunrider is relentlessly pursuing Superman in a high-stakes battle for position.
Hold on to your hats, folks. Sunrider is giving Superman a run for their money. Things are gonna get spicy as they round Club Chicane.
This is what high-octane racing looks like. Stephen Eales is breathing down the neck of Chris Ilduke, not giving him any room to relax.
At this rate, Stephen Eales and Chris Ilduke are so close, they could share a cup of tea and a biscuit.
This is where legends are made. Which driver will rise to the occasion and claim victory?
You know, Rob, I wouldn't put it past Rob to pull a rabbit out of the hat in this duel. Keep those eyes peeled.
Jack M Team could be looking for a way up the inside of Richard Rossier. Now, that's what I'm talking about. Rob is proper nipping at Stephen Eales' heels. Are they thinking of making a lunge? Only time will tell. Blimey, Jack M Team is sticking to Richard Rossier like a kangaroo to her Joey. At this rate, they'll be side by side as they hit Woodham Hill.
Hot diggity, Jack M Team's on Richard Rossier's tail tighter than bark on a tree. As they zoom into Woodham Hill, I'm on the edge of my seat.
You ever see a croc stalking its prey? That's the end. Hold on a second. Looks like that's a mistake from Stephen Eales. This could be costly.
Well, butter my biscuit. Stephen Eales has lost it like I lost my patience with that old carburetor of mine. A real test of character.
The adrenaline is pumping as Rob gets within striking distance of Chris Ilduke in their race for 6th. Here's the thing about racing. Sometimes, it's not just about speed. It's about pressure, mind games, and this, right here, is a masterclass from Sunrider. Sticking so close to the leader, making him constantly aware of the imminent threat.
Spot on. It's like a shark circling its prey. The leader knows it, we know it, and by the looks of it, Sunrider is ready for the kill.
Richard Rossier wants to get into McDougal's slipstream.
They need to keep it on the black stuff. You don't get points for driving over weeds, not in this game.
Sunrider's in an exciting position at 2nd. They've been maintaining pace for a few laps now, and with the leader just within a whisper's distance, things are heating up.
Absolutely. I think you would say it's tighter than a kangaroo in a sleeping bag up there. But yet every little decision now is crucial. One slip from the leader and our champ in 2nd might just steal that top spot.
An impressive showing from Sunrider, who has gained positions and left Superman in the dust.
Absolutely.
Breaking development. Struth, Superman's having a real dog's breakfast of a moment.
If Superman was fishing, they'd have thrown that one back into the pond. That's a tough go.
Tell ya what, Megasaurus 55's got more followers right now than I do on Insta. Which, to be fair, isn't saying much.
It's like a good old North Carolina hoedown. Megasaurus 55's trying to lead, but Stephen Eales is eager for a do-see-do.
It looks like Chris Ilduke is all over Sunrider. I think they are gonna press him through Noble and try and press for a mistake.
For sure, Rob, that's exactly what I would be doing here, as Sunrider is gonna be aware of them riding their bumper.
It's a game of inches now as Superman tails Rob closely, ready to capitalize on any mistake.
That's right, Rob. The pressure is palpable. The fans are on the edge of their seats, waiting to see who will come out on top in this epic showdown.
A great pass for Superman as they pick off other drivers and move up the field. Meanwhile, Rob Keane has lost ground.
Go, 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 that's what we want to see.
No room for error here. Sunrider is breathing down the neck of Rob, waiting for the perfect chance to make their move.
Honestly, Rob, with this chase, I'm half expecting to see some sneaky dive bombs in the next few laps. Popcorn ready?
It's a close race between Rob Keane and Superman in fourth.
These two are putting on a masterclass in precision driving. Every turn, every acceleration, calculated to perfection.
Rob's falling behind Superman at a rate of knots. They're going to need some serious pedal power to close the gap. Watching the drivers handle their cars is like watching a croc handler at a wildlife show. There's a finesse to it. But one wrong move, and you're in a world of hurt.
Oh, for sure. It's like trying to rope a bull in a rodeo. It looks easy from the stands, but up close, it's all about skill, timing, and knowing when it's about to let go.
Sorry to interrupt here, but stone the crows. Rob's on fire, surging ahead like there's a free round at the pub waiting. Hello, fourth.
That kind of move? That's what happens when you mix horsepower with a dash of southern charm.
Alright, lads and ladies, it's crunch time. Chris Ilduke is sniffing around Sunrider like a dog with a bone. And it looks like they might just take a bite out of sixth.
Mate, if I had $1 for every time Chris Ilduke looked like overtaken, I'd be sipping mojitos on a beach right now.
It's an intense battle for position as Stephen Eales tries to outmaneuver Megasaurus 55. This is edge-of-your-seat racing.
If Stephen Eales isn't careful, they might end up turning this high-speed chase into a synchronized spinning routine. And trust me, that's not a crowd pleaser.
Oi.
Is it just me or?
Nah, mate, Eddie G really just took the scenic route through the outback of Thruxton. Crikey. We got a close battle as Rob closes in on Superman. Great driving from Rob, who has just gained a place and moved up to fourth. You ever ponder how these drivers manage the heat, especially in the tight cockpit? It's hotter than a ruse pouch in midday sun.
Ruse what? I mean, yeah, it's gotta be like driving in Arizona with the heater on, right?
Hold on to your hats, folks. Stephen Eales is right on the heels of Megasaurus 55, and we're in for a wild ride.
The chase between Stephen Eales and Megasaurus 55 is like a high-speed game of tag, and the stakes are much higher.
3 cars, 3 different lines. They're jockeying for position, looking for any opportunity to make a move. What a tight spot for Rob. They have Sunrider right on their tail 0.2 seconds away, and Superman just inches away with a gap of 0.2 seconds. It's a true oh no, what's this? Megasaurus 55's off the track. Reminds me of my first car, a real lemon. Drove straight but only in reverse.
Sweet cornbread. Megasaurus 55 must have thought there's a Walmart sale off the track the way they went off.
The intensity is off the charts as Keane hounds Superman, both drivers pushing themselves to the absolute limit.
Should things go south between Keane and Superman, we might witness a high-speed game of bumper cars, but trust me, it's way less fun with real race cars.
Hang on, as Keane just played their wild card. They're lounging at 6th now.
Races are full of ups and downs, kinda like my Aunt Patty's porch swing. Rob will bounce back, no doubt about it.
Rob Keane's on the back foot here, struggling to keep up with Superman like a dingo after a roadrunner. Alright, hold your horses. Sunrider is really putting the heat on Rob. If I were Rob, I'd be checking those mirrors non-stop.
Hey Rob, ever seen a cat toy with a mouse? Kind of feels like what Sunrider is doing to Rob right now, doesn't it?
It's not coming up roses for Sunrider. They're trailing Rob and the gaps on the rise. They don't seem to have a response. It's like bringing a knife to a gunfight. It's a battle of wills out there, each driver trying to outsmart and outmaneuver the other. It's game on now. Rob has closed the gap to Superman. It's now down to 0.6 seconds. Coming into Goodwood, the fight for 12th is heating up. Who will be the first to blink? Buckle up, Rob Keane is all over Superman like a cheap suit. Are we about to see some wheel-to-wheel action? Struth. If Jury U gets any closer to Puppy Dog from Hell, they'll be asking to share a meat pie. Watch them duel it out at Club Chicane.
If your U gets any closer to Puppy Dog from Hell, they'll need to start sending out wedding invitations.
While Chris Duke is not under immediate threat from Megasaurus 55, they still need to stay focused and avoid any errors. Any slip-up could cost them their position. It's a dynamic landscape out there. Chris Duke's shift to 9th is testament to that.
That's got to hurt. Chris Duck will be kicking themselves right now.
Huge shout out to the admins at Assetto Corsa Friends for making this all possible. Without their hard work and dedication, we wouldn't be able to witness this incredible event.
That's right, Rob, and the excitement is palpable. I can feel it in my circuits. I mean, this is the kind of race that people will be talking about in the bar. We're witnessing history in the making.
It's like watching two predators circling each other, waiting for the perfect moment to pounce. It's like David versus Goliath out there. Rob just slung a stone and gained ground, while Superman is left searching for footing. This is what racing is all about. Two fierce competitors pushing each other to the limit.
With Superman on the hunt, Rob better not blink. Every split second counts in this tango.
During your racing career, Hal, did you have any specific techniques to regain concentration if you felt it slipping?
Yes, Rob, I had a few techniques. One was to take a couple of deep breaths and briefly reset my focus. Another was to use a specific keyword or phrase as a mental trigger to refocus my mind on the task at hand.
Things are heating up as Eddie G closes in on Chris Duke. The gap between them is down to practice braking alert. Oh, mate, that's how the old man used to drive after a couple of bevies at the pub. Not the right line, but definitely entertaining.
Holy smokes, Puppy Dog from Hell's serving up some backyard barbecue with that smoke show. Just missing the ribs.
This is what it's all about, folks. Eddie G is in hot pursuit of Chris Duke, who's just trying to stay ahead. Good on ya, Eddie G. Not letting Chris Duke get too comfy up front. Reckon he's planning a bit of a "g'day mate" on the next corner? It's neck and neck, the closest battle we've seen in a while. Megasaurus 55 is pushing hard and has reduced the gap to Eddie G to 0.4 seconds.
That's a great effort from Megasaurus 55. They need to keep up the pressure and see if they can make a move.
The gap between McDougall and Richard Rossier may be wide, but that doesn't mean McDougall is safe. They have to keep their concentration and avoid any lapses in performance. Impressive driving from McDougall, who has managed to extend their lead over Richard Rossier. They are walking away at this point. Does Richard Rossier have anything in reserve? Or are they saving their car for a final push?
Well, Rob, it's like they say, slow and steady wins the race. But in this case, it seems like slow and steady might just be too slow. Will Richard Rossier be able to find that extra gear and catch up to McDougall? Or will they end up saving their car for nothing and run out of gas at the finish line?
So, when you were racing, ever have to do the old nature call dash during a red flag?
Haha, you mean a pit stop for the driver and not the car? Once or twice, you learn to time your drinks, and hope for a long caution. Doesn't always work out though.
Gee whiz, Eddie G is breathing down Chris Duke's neck. Wouldn't want to be in Chris Duke's rearview mirror right now. It's getting crowded.
This is what makes motor racing so exciting. The tension is high and the stakes are even higher. Who will take home the victory? It's too close to call.
Things are getting spicy as Megasaurus 55 is breathing down Eddie's neck. The gap? Mate, you couldn't slide a credit card between them. The tension is palpable. Who will come out on top in this epic showdown? This is where the true champions shine, and Jack M team is certainly showing their class in the final sector. It's all over. Jack M team has claimed victory in this race with a stunning drive that will be remembered for years to come. Clearly at the top of their game right now. What a drive from McDougall, securing a great second place finish. In 12th, it's Jury U. That was an outstanding performance from Richard Rossier. They fought hard and took the final spot on the podium.
Fantastic result.
Rob Keane and Sunrider end in 4th and 5th. With Superman in 6th. Taking 7th is Stephen Eales. Followed by Puppy Dog from Hell in 13th. Eddie G and Megasaurus 55 brings home 8th and 9th. Chris Duke take 10th. Finishing 11th is D-Max.